Hello and welcome to today's webinar on 5 steps to a tidy address book. First in our webinar series on how to power up your contacts. My name is Chris and I'm Head of Customer Success at Covve, here alongside Alex, Covve's co-founder. Now the two of us have been on both sides of content management, both as part of international organizations for over 10 years and now as part of Covve. Firstly, for those who do not know what Covve is a next generation online address book, specifically designed for business professionals. It offers tools that help manage your contacts, uncover new opportunities, and many other things, which you're going to have a chance to see later on as well. And we're really excited about this webinar series because in 5 short sessions, you will be managing and using your business contacts in a completely different way. So thanks again for joining, and I hope you make the best of it. It brings real joy to us that we have a crowd taking contact seriously. It's just great to see that. So here's some logistics. We're going to be running these 5 webinars on these dates. For today, we're going to cover some basic steps on how to keep a tidy address book. Next one is going to look deeper into what a modern address book can do today. Things you can't imagine, as we say there. For the third one, we're going to be covering best practices and tools that help you stay in touch with key contacts, kind of like a personal CRM. And then we're going to look at a very interesting way to generate leads using nothing but your address book. We're going to wrap up the series with some actual use cases on how business people make the best use of their contacts for business development. In isolation, simple things, but combined, there's lots to discover and much value to gain, so stick with us. Please note that after each webinar, we're going to be sharing all the material and the recording for future reference. We're keeping it brief on purpose. We know you guys are super busy, so the goal is to give direction and provide additional links with step-by-step instructions only when necessary. Alex will be sharing this in the chat, and of course, feel free to ask Alex anything you want through the Q&A. So why are we doing this and what are we trying to solve? Basically, we want to help you go from a bad, or should I say typical address book to a good address book. Comparing the two that you see here on the screen, and we're looking at Covve interface here, by the way. The one on the left is full of gaps, is missing out valuable information, and has some common bad entries. For example, you see there Amit Basketball, which is a name and an activity. And you see Alice Barclays, which is a name and a company, and things we all do or used to do. Now, the other one is nice, is neat, is pretty, includes so much more information, and most importantly, it's ready to make a business. So we're not just doing it for the looks. We like a neat address book, but there is real value behind this. So we're going to lead you to better management of your business contacts, help you effectively network in a much better way. So let's start with today's topic. We're going to be going through 5 tips to achieve a tidy address book. First is knowing your sources, managing contacts through a single interface, adding information to your contacts, handling new contacts and developing good habits and doing so. And the last one, auto-enriching contacts. So starting right away with your sources. And when we say sources, we basically mean address books. Let me start with the stats. 87% of Covve users have multiple address books. So that's a really high number. I mean, we keep more than one address book. And I want to do a quick poll here and see if you guys follow this trend. I'm just launching the poll right now. We'll give it a few seconds for everybody to vote. So the question is, where do you keep your contacts? Single address book, multiple address books, or no idea? And okay, I'm just going to close the poll now. All right, really interesting to see that again. Most of you, the huge majority, is also keeping multiple address books. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really change your approach, as there is no right or wrong, and you're going to see why. Our goal is basically to take control of the address book, whether it's one or many. Yeah, so that's why it doesn't make any difference if you keep one or multiple. So let's start by identifying what these sources are, what these contact sources are. Most common, the ones you see there, are Gmail, Outlook, iCloud, or even your iCloud or your actual phone device. And to identify and manage those sources is really quite simple. For iPhone contacts, the image on the left, they're organized into groups. These are accounts for Android users. Groups loosely translate to address book sources. For example, you could have an iCloud group, a Gmail group, or an Exchange group. Often these get added when you add an email account, and you don't really realize that you're also enabling contacts synchronization. You can click on the links provided there on the slide, the ones that Alex is sharing as well. And there are some very simple instructions on how to manage and change these settings for iPhone or Android. So review your groups or accounts, and we suggest you remove from your settings any that do not contain useful contacts. A bit of housekeeping. No need to keep them if there's no real value in doing so. Also keep in mind that, for example, iPhone defaults to iCloud as a contacts account. So we see many users creating a new address book in iCloud, not by choice, but because it was the default setup. So something to keep in mind. So now you know where you keep your contacts, but where should you keep them? What's the right address book for you? And I'm showing here a small comparison table with the different address book options. The choice is completely up to you, unless you have some company policy or specific reason. But I would strongly recommend using a single source if possible. And for me, that single source is Gmail, which gets my vote because it's easy, it's well integrated, it's very secure, not the perfect interface, but gets the job done. So I'm using Gmail, and that's my personal preference. You can review the different options and make a choice for yourself. Now, whatever the choice of address book, it's really important that you manage your contacts through a single interface. And okay, as I said, our advice is to keep a single address book, which makes maintenance and consistency much better. Now, the good thing is that moving your contacts between different accounts is possible, and it's really easy. Again, sharing here a link that covers the topic of exporting and importing to and from different sources, different combinations. For example, from iCloud to Gmail, from Gmail to Exchange, etc. So if you have multiple address books, or even a single one, and you simply want to move contacts around, don't be afraid of that. You can follow a simple 2 to 3 step process to export, import, and move to your new address book. You only have to do it once, so definitely worth the time. Trust me, if it's one thing you're going to do, this is going to be 5 minutes well spent. So just follow the link there for the simple instructions. Now, if you insist in keeping more than one sources, for example, separate work from personal contacts or separate businesses, then I recommend you use an app to allow you to manage these sources through a single interface, to view them and manage them as one, basically. If you're an iPhone user, these apps I will share here have various features that can help you get a unified view of address books, search contacts, deduplicate, and other things. Showing here Covve, Full Contact, Simple Contacts, and Adapt. All good options. You can try them out and see which one you prefer. Now, if you're an Android user, your Android address book can do much of this, combining and unified viewing without any external help. So if you're into the iPhone versus Android battles, this round clearly goes to Android. So we can now view and manage our contacts from one place. Let's move to the contact level. We covered the address book. Let's move one step down to the contact level. What are the main things we need to have in our contacts? Most people are going to say name and phone. Maybe they're going to say email as well. In reality, a contact can include many other fields, like professional information, company, position, location, all the other things. And the great thing is that this information is many times readily available for you to use. So let's see how. iOS 9, for example, introduced this great feature that automatically identifies emails and phone numbers and other details for your contacts. They do this by examining the signature of emails you exchange with your contacts, and they extract their details. Now, to add this information to your contacts, it is really easy. You just open each contact, you tap on a phone found in mail or address found in mail, the grayed out text you see there, and to add the data. It's literally right there in front of you. So all you have to do is keep an eye for these little notifications that pop up on your phone and make sure you apply them. It's a fantastic way to add good information to your contacts. Now, if one of your sources is a Gmail account, then you also probably have very valuable data ready and waiting. So you can go to your Gmail on your computer, find other contacts, the one that we have there on the slide, and you just have to go through the list and select those that seem useful. Now, be careful not to select everything, as you will find a fair amount of junk in there, like emails with no name, generic emails with companies and services, basically people you do not want to bring into your address book. So just go do the selection. Again, it shouldn't take long. And once you've done that, you just select to add them to your Gmail address book, just like that. So we've shown how to fix contacts, right? I mean, our existing contacts. And now it's time to develop and start developing good habits when adding new contacts in your neat address book. The best thing is to add as much information at the moment you add a new contact. That's when it's fresh, and that's the point when you can add more value to the contact and your address book. So complete as many fields as you can, and even add notes to the contact. For example, where you met the person, which event, who or she is related, he or she is related to, etc. This will prove definitely very useful down the road, especially for people that have many connections. And it's really important to have the extra information. Firstly, because it's very normal, you may forget who a person is in a few months' time or details about the person. And secondly, because it opens up a lot more opportunities, as you're going to see in the next webinar. And then we have the business card issue, which no matter how much technology evolves, they are still a big part of the business world. And of course, they should be part of your address book. So I suggest a couple apps here, Evernote or Camcard, both work brilliant. They can scan business cards, identify data, and just add it to your address book automatically. It works so well. Many times I find myself just scanning a business card straight away when I'm given a card and returning to the person to use it. No need to store it or throw it away. I tiny bit save the planet as well. And let me just mention, if you find yourself on the other side, handing out too many business cards, there are apps like Covve that allow you to send an electronic business card when you meet someone. So you avoid carrying business cards, you end up straight in the other person's address book, which is a great thing. And I think it just look a tiny bit cooler doing it in the process, as opposed to exchanging paper. So feel free to explore that feature. Now, moving on to the last point, our fifth step for today. And this is how to auto-enrich your contacts using a modern tool. And we're using Covve as a reference for this section. The good news first, as promised, we're giving you for free a 1-month Pro subscription. So you will be able to do this for all your contacts using Covve. Let me just run a quick poll here. I just want to see how many of you are actual Covve users. So let me just launch it. Just do it for a few seconds, get the votes in. All right, very cool. Just gonna end it now. Great. So actually, a fair amount of Covve users, not many experts, so fitting perfectly to what we have to say. So, what does Covve do for those that have not used it? Among other things, it enhances and cleanses your address book. So it will identify duplicate contacts, and it will automatically search in multiple sources to find additional information for your contacts. And let me show you how, I mean, the beauty of it all is that this is a super simple process, fully automated, and literally takes 2 touches to go from, to add the details into your contacts. So you get the app, you sign up, and the image you see on the left is your dashboard. So it's just your opening screen. And the first thing you see right there are the suggested improvements right in the middle of the screen, with the numbers indicating how many you have available and ready to apply. So the step 2 is simply tapping on the available improvements. You review them. You can approve all of them or review them one by one. And as simple as that, we have added free extra info to your contents. It's really simple and really worth doing it. So what we've done so far, we've taken control of our sources, our address books, and improved our existing and our new habits, our new contents. Now the next step, and this is where it gets a lot more interesting, is to take advantage of this solid foundation that we established and make something out of it. So start adding that little bit of magic. So we're going to look into the great things a modern address book can do. Things like visualization, advanced filtering, automatically keeping accurate, up-to-date details for your contacts. Basically, be like a personal database or even like a personal CRM tool. All this we're going to cover in the next webinar. And just want to say thanks again. Feel free to reach out with any questions, any comments, any suggestions. And certainly, do not forget to email Alex for your Pro Covve account. So many thanks and have a great day.